Hello? John speaking. Do you want another interview? Okay. Who is it? Right. I know you want me to get as much information as I can. I know. The world needs to know more about this person for sure. Yeah, I know. I'll get on to it. I'll look into it. Bye.
Yeah, man. Patrick Dell featuring Diamond. And this one called money.
And I'm with today Grenada's Patrick Dell.
Alright.
Good afternoon, Patrick. How you doing?
How you doing, my brother? Peace to you. Alright.
So, tell me about you.
Well, I'm a trained herbalist in Chinese and American medicine. A little bit of acupuncture also. And I'm also an entertainer doing reggae music. We call it conscious reggae.
Conscious reggae?
Yeah, man.
What is it, conscious reggae?
Well, you know, people have been sleeping for over 400 years, and we're trying to free all people's mind. But the chain is now from the feet. Physical chain is on the mind now.
Mm-hmm.
So we are trying to remove the chain of the mind of all people. That's very important. Malcolm taught us that. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Marcus Garvey, they all taught us these things. But we still abide in mental slavery.
Why do you think that is?
Well, because our language. Marcus Garvey said that a people without a language is like a tree without roots. And if you don't have your language, you don't have your culture. And that's problematic. And I think that's why we are the only race that don't have that unity base. Because we were taught somebody else's language. And that's what we're suffering today. Drastically, even in Grenada, you see that all the stores are owned by foreign people of different persuasion. And all the people who are consumers are indigenous people, because that's what we were taught. So that's why I'm always telling our people to look up Willie Lynch, because he's one of the causes of our problems too.
Tell me more about Willie Lynch.
Well, Willie Lynch was a slave master, and his slave never used to run away.
Lynch, the name. Lynching. So tell me about the lynching. Tell me more about that.
So what they realized was that Willie Lynch slaves was not running away. So they sent for Willie Lynch, North America, where he was riding on a horse. He saw a slave hanging on a tree. And he mentioned to the slave master that that's a good commodity. So he said to them, if they follow his principles, they will be able to control black people for over 400 years. So what he did was, he said you have to get the old black male against the young black male. The old black female against the young black female. You have to get the light-skinned slave against the black-skinned slave. And you must have them have disunity among themselves and have trust in your people. That's where it started. So that's what they call us black people. We live in like in a crab syndrome. Crab syndrome means you put all crab in a can, and one goes up, you put one back down. That's what it's all about. So then we have in the Caribbean where we are getting the books from the UK, Macmillan. So there's none of our people in our curriculum. So how could we learn about our people if we don't have them in our curriculum? So that's what I'm trying to do in Grenada with the Ministry of Education, to get our people back into our curriculum. That's important.
Growing up, as a kid going to school in Grenada, when did you come to the point of, I don't want to call it enlightenment, you realise my life's going to be a little different?
1973. I'm 58 years old.
58?
Yeah.
You look good. 58.
And Bob Marley opened my eyes to there was the first album by Bob Marley called Burning.
Okay.
And the lyrics were so strong that I became conscious then. And then I started to read about Malcolm, started to read about Elijah Muhammad, started to read about the Nation of Islam, what they were doing, getting blacks from prison, back into the community, doing positive things. Even Malcolm X had a problem too when he got to prison. Came out to be one of the greatest black fantastic times of the earth. See what I'm saying? And then I started to look at Robert Du Bois. I started to read books of Destruction of Black Civilization, From Slavery to Freedom by John Hope Franklin. I started to read Capitalism and Slavery by Eric Williams. And there's another book by Walter Rodney from Guyana called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. So all these books enlightened me about our people. And that's the route I was taking.
While you were going through this time of enlightenment, was there ever certainly for me in England, when I went to America and I started being, let's say the word, re-educated, it was a shocking experience, because there was that teaching that you thought, this is what I know. This is what I know to be true. And then somebody says, now hold on, take a look at this. And I'm like, but I've been taught this. You've spent a whole bunch of life. And then you're looking at this and you see that your life has been under a cloud. Almost you're walking the life of a prisoner and actually putting chains on your legs to stop you from walking properly, putting chains on your hands to stop you from moving your hands, and then on top of it, blinding yourself with religion to prevent you from being empowered, to prevent you from having a voice, and prevent you to be the best you potentially could be, because you've got all these chains, and on top of that, the system doesn't want you to succeed.
That's a problem.
So you've got all those things. I had this thing with chronic fatigue syndrome, like I explained to you before. When I was in England, I had an incident where, because I couldn't move my body the way I wanted to, I'd go to university. I got given an opportunity twice to go to university. And I'd start the first term excellently, like from September right up to about January. Fine. And then come January time, mid-January, then I'd go to class and fall asleep in class. Middle of the class, talking, and then just cut out and not know what I'm talking about. Couldn't concentrate. Leaving the key in the book. Because they are, you're just careless. But I'm thinking, hold on, that's not, you can check yourself, say, maybe a bit constantly doing stuff like this all the time. Leaving key. No, I didn't understand why I was behaving in that manner, or walking the street and suddenly thinking, why am I here? What am I doing?
We're balanced.
And just moments getting out of bed in the mornings and actually crawling along the floor to get to the toilet because my body says no. It's like I'd gone in the gym the night before and we pump a whole lot of weights. I've never pumped weights before, and then in the morning get me a muscle that hurting you. Every movement you make, it's pain. You want to scream in pain. So you've got the internal pain, then the external pain of people who you think will support you. Then you go to your doctor. Your doctor says, take a paracetamol. You're not able to work. Everything. Oh yeah, you've got time off. But people don't see the internal damage that's been done, because you've not got broken leg, you've not got broken arm, you've not got no visible. All these things you was here, and you just knew that this was not helping the situation. And then I remember going to see my doctor, and when I went to see the doctor turned around and said to me, I'm going to send you to a clinic. Went to the clinic, and the clinic said to me, well, we believe, looking at your test, that you need to start reprogramming your mind. But to help you reprogram your mind, we're going to use some antidepressant tablets. I said, well, hold on, you want me to start reprogramming my mind, but at the same time, you want to give me tablets, and antidepressant tablets. And only in that week they've had a percentage of, I think it was like 90% of the people that are taking antidepressant tablets, A, never came off them, and B, their lives were worse for it after.
Medical people, a lot of the medical doctors, they don't understand illnesses. And a lot of the time they say to you, well, there is no cause of your illness, so they can't fix it. In the medical system, there's no cure for nothing. So number one, they couldn't give you a cure. They would put you on a pill and you said antidepressant.
Yes.
Forever. If you feel a little better, they might cut down on the milligrams. You don't come off though. Because in their system, there's no cure. In their system, they don't teach you how to fish. They feed you a drug forever. And that's what we have the medical system, some of the insurances in North America and the UK, so the politicians fight over that. Because their job is to keep you on the drugs. And if they can't do that, then they don't need you around. That's how it works. It works over here too. Same thing happened in Grenada. Put you on some 25 milligram drug, desperate for high pressure, and then you have to take it for the rest of your life. But they don't look to find out what is the cause, what is causing you to have the problem.
Okay, so that was my story, and that's how I came through, overcame the whole chronic fatigue syndrome. But for people that are watching the show, who I know, I've got friends and I've got family who have suffered from this illness and are still suffering from it today.
CFS.
Yes.
Yeah.
What would be your advice to them?
The first thing people have to do when they're suffering from CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, is to fix the liver.
Right.
That's the key. The liver have over 500 functions. And if we're doing things that is not good for the liver, so if the liver have 500 functions and we're giving it 550 functions, it will leave something else that's important, like energy. And try to focus on repairing what you're doing that's negative, but leaving something undone. That's number one. Number two, the body functions in an alkaline terrain. See? So, venous blood, arterial blood, capillary blood, all fall under the pH of 7.4, 7.45. That's alkaline. Your intestinal secretion falls under the pH of 7.8. Your pancreatic secretion, pH is 8.3. Urine, saliva, 6.9, almost 7.0. Now the only place in the body, internal terrain that is acidic, is the stomach. 3.6 pH, because it produces hydrochloric acid. See what I'm saying? So if we are on an acid diet, acid in turn causes mucus. Mucus in turn causes diseases. So there's one disease, one cause, acidosis. So you are acidic.
If somebody's listening to this message now, what is their ray of hope, their inspiration? What would you tell them if they were stuck in their bed now with chronic fatigue syndrome?
A lot of people who have chronic fatigue syndrome,
yes,
they're lacking in certain minerals, and especially EFA, essential fatty acids.
Yes.
And when I'm treating a patient, not only with CFS, any disease, the first thing I do, as Michael Tira taught us, with a wonderful herbalist called Michael Tira, who fixed schizophrenia with herbs. He taught us 8 method therapies. Stimulation. You must stimulate your organs. Tonify them. You must tonify. Tonification. But you cannot stimulate if the organs are weak. You must tonify them first. So the first thing we have to do for CFS patients is to tonify their organs. tonification. And after we tonify the organs, we will strengthen them. We use stimulation. If they have a problem in the glandular system, which also affects CFS, which is the adrenal glands, because of the cortex and the medulla. Cortisol, it makes corticosteroids or steroids, DHEA. We have to tranquilize. That's another part of the 8 method therapy, tranquilization. Then we have what we call diuresis. We have emetics. We have purging, sweating, and the last but most important is blood purification. So if there is acid in the blood, the body in its wisdom try moving, taking calcium to the bones to buffer, because calcium is a buffering agent. But sometimes there's so much acid in the system that the liver don't function well. And in order for you to get energy, you need 2 organs in the body that helps. Organ and a gland, sorry. The liver and the adrenals. Because the adrenals send signals to your liver to release wet sugar back into the blood for energy. If that gland is not working properly, there is no signals going from the gland to the liver, you must get chronic fatigue syndrome. And you're living in an acid terrain too. Because anything in the blood is going to affect the brain.
Something I also discovered while researching chronic fatigue syndrome, there was a common theme that people had a lot of metals in their system.
Heavy metal poisoning.
Right. Where's that come from?
Well, foods.
Right.
Environmental. So, and a lot of the times, mercury, like the spleen, aluminum of the brain. So you have to, that is one of the tests we do also, especially when you have mercury in your mouth. Because the mercury in your mouth, when they put in your, when you have a cavity, it affects your heart also. See what I'm saying? It gives you high blood pressure. So a lot of the times, as you said, we look for also heavy metal poison. So what we will do is do a heavy metal test. And if that number is over 10, we know that that particular person has heavy metal poison.
So how do we
It's a blood work. Some blood work we do for that. And in Grenada, we don't have that facility here. So we will send the test to the university, the Western in Trinidad. And they will send it back to us. And then we say, oh, here it is, lead, lots of copper, lots of aluminum. Because remember that a lot of the things that we use every day have a lot of heavy metal, like even deodorant. So deodorants could cause chronic fatigue if the person ingests all these chemicals from these stuff like that. And once the spleen is affected, your liver is going to be affected, because the liver is not too far from the liver. The spleen, sorry. So your spleen, your pancreas, your gallbladder, and your liver, they all brothers and sisters. They function as one.
How was I able to overcome that by using just the mind?
Because your mind controls everything else. There is 2 parts in the system. One is called the central nervous system. One is called the autonomous nervous system. Okay? For you, maybe, as into you try to get your mind back in balance. I don't know what you did, because I don't know if you change your diet. Because changing your diet is also important. You know, unless an angel can help you out.
No, I studied the whole. I did a circle. It was a circle, and it was a circle of looking at all the things in my life that I disliked. I had to put down the things that I hated, and mark them out, or things that things I disliked, things I liked, and things I loved.
I got you.
By the time I got to the things I loved, I had about 4 or 5 things. But when I got to the things that I hated, there was about 150 things on them. So you think about that inside your system, that hatred. You didn't realize how many things you actually hated. And then you go down to the dislikes. So I said, okay, how can I narrow this down? And how can I move my life from being a life of hating a lot of things to being a person that's going to be more in the light and being more positive?
Wonderful.
So how can I shift that balance? And what is it in my external that's causing me to have such internal hate? And there were a lot of things. I mean, I remember one point when I was going back, there was a hatred for this. A hatred for this. I remember when I was like 5 years old. This is going real deep and real back. 5 years old, and a kid turned up to me and said to me, "Why is your colour that? Why is your skin that colour? Look, we're friends, but why is your skin that colour?" And then I remember again about 9 years old, another incident where I was looking in the mirror. I said, why can't I be like them? Why do I have to be this kind of black thing? You know, and wherever you looked, wherever you were, black was always black magic is bad.
Yeah.
This is black is bad. And white it's fantastic. It's not the race card here. It's how my life was affected, and I'm sure a lot of young people, black young people my age, went through that, and probably people way before that.
But in the food chain, everything white is bad. White rice, white sugar, white salt, white flour, they all bad.
So I left the band and I went solo. I did my own stuff, and then he and I linked up last year. He was engineer, linked up and did a song together. It's called More Money.
More money.
No money in the bank, the people can't find a way. We're living at the most high taxes, what we have to pay. Every time we get up, like the money seems to fly away. Good time, hard time, looking for a payday. I got my children and a woman plus my mom to feed, and my with another seed. I bend my knees and I look up to my God to pray. No money in my pocket and the bank, a man say no way, no money. No money, no.
So when's that coming out then?
So, what got you into all this knowledge about health and the body?
Before I answer your question, you mentioned a while ago things you dislike and things you don't like or things you love.
Yes.
That's the key to healing. In order for us to heal, we must get rid of hate and animosity, and we must forgive. That's the key to healing. So when you mentioned that you have to look at the things you disliked, things you hated, and things you loved, that was the key. That's what I asked you at the beginning. What did you do? The mind. Change it around. That's the key.
And the whole thing about rebirth. I said to myself, well, once I moved from that position of hate to dislike to like to love, and I got to that point, I was like, I'm not going to be that person anymore. I'm going to reinvent myself.
That's the key.
And there's the whole thing about rebirth.
Yeah, that's the key.
So I wasn't my life, but I had to make a decision within myself to be a champion for myself and to believe in, I'm going to get better. I'm going to do better. And if I know better, I should do better.
Well, I started herbal medicine. When I migrated to New York, I was an epileptic. I had epilepsy.
Wow.
And I was a migraine sufferer. Couldn't go to school because of migraine. Couldn't get up in the light, sunlight. Had to stay in the dark. Couldn't play the radio. And I was on a drug called Epilin. It's an old drug for epileptics. And when I got to New York, taking this drug, having my migraines, eating sloppy Joe, all the chicken, all the meat, and one of my friends took me to Chinatown in Manhattan to this Chinese guy, and he said to me, "You could fix epilepsy." So yeah, the doctor said you can't fix. That's not true. He said all you have to do is change around your diet. So he took me up for all the white stuff. No cheese, no eggs, no milk, no white flour. And he gave me some herbs. Never forget it. Put all the herbs on the map. Weighed that. And he gave me herbs for 7 days. He gave me like a detox. And that was it. And then my friend took me to the Bronx. There was this lady who was 65 years old. Light skin. Hair was white, but the skin was pretty. Introduced me to colonics, and that was the start. Never had migraines after that, and never had an epileptic attack after that, because I changed my diet. And then I started to help other people who had simple things as, flatulence, gas, burping. Started to pick up a little bit of herbs and give them the drink, and they say, oh, guys, you're gifted. So I said, okay. So I went to study that.
We have Patrick Dell's the health guru.
Yeah. I'm a health freak.
A health freak?
Yeah.
Where does your musical career come to all this?
When we talk about that, I eat once a day.
You eat once a day?
Once a day, 3 o'clock. That's it. Don't eat no flesh. Don't eat proteins after 2 o'clock. Don't eat carbohydrates in the morning. Don't eat fats in the morning. I eat my carbs and my sugars when it's hot, temperature is hot. Burn the sugar. That's the key. If you don't burn sugar as fuel, you have problems. The sugar stays in adipose tissue, you get fat. Cancer develops too faster. So we were taught that when we are living in a climate, we have to eat the foods to correspond to our bloodstream. So that's why we have a saying, eat what you grow what you eat. Secondly, when you're bringing important food, you're importing the next person's disease. Whatever disease they have, you don't get it. Because the foods you eat are the same foods. Secondly, enzymes don't like long travel, and they don't like heat. So when you import in foods like fruits and vegetables, and they have the long travel, enzymes are dead. And yet there are 3,000 enzymes in the body that have different functions. Some in the digestive system, some to prevent cancer, some to repair cancer cells. So if they're not there because you don't get them from the foods, how are you going to survive? So I learned that. I learned the process. So I know that when the temperature is cool in the morning, I don't eat cool things. I use warm things to warm the body up. And then when it's hot, I use fats and sugars because it's to burn the sugar. The sugar goes up and out in the brain. Not in the pancreas. Got to burn it up. And I know strong protein takes at least 18 hours to come out of the body. So if I eat my protein, I either eat it in the morning or at 2 o'clock. So by the time 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I'm in my bed, protein is gone. That's the key to staying healthy.
How did you learn that then?
Well, Michael Tierra, David Winston, a lot of these guys were they were my mentors. And we look at how they function, how they eat, and we try to pass on the same message that they gave us. And that's what I'm trying to do in Grenada today.
How do you think your knowledge and wisdom will transfer to around the Grenadian community?
There is a saying in the scriptures, when a person gets one person to serve the Most High, all the angels rejoice. See? So if I could get one person to change the diet and be well,
job done?
Job done. That's the key to me. It is not monetary to me, but you have to have love for people. Because this business to me is not about greed, it's about love. You mentioned love a while ago. It's about that. It's about loving to see people well. It's not about just taking their money and giving them a pill or herbs, just making them come back all the time. It's not about that. It's about making sure they feel good as you're feeling. That's what I like about the business. But I also love my music.
So how did you get into the music industry?
Again, it's a gift. Never learned to play piano, just play it, just put my A, and guys heard me and said, "Oh man, you could sing," and that was it. Started to write my own songs and started to do some recording with a guy called what's his name again? Sidney Mills from Steel Pulse. You know, because they're my mentor right now too. David Hines from Steel Pulse. Then I started to do my recording. I wanted to have a record. So in 1986, I recorded my first record. Cost me $400 on a 4-track called Black Children. All our little black children, they are dying in Ethiopia. We gotta do something. It is a conspiracy to eliminate all black children. You see, a race without a young generation will be easier to trample on.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
And that got a lot of radio play in New York at the time.
Okay.
So then people started to know who Patrick Dell was. And I did another song called Mash Down Babylon. And then even went, sold 15,000 copies from the trunk of my car on all the clubs, just moving around.
You can give me a little flavor of what Mash Down Babylon?
The Rasta man coming
Nasty dread is coming. We're living in these times of illusions where there's no solution. But we will find a way now to fight on all them evil ones. We go fight them down. We are going to mash down Babylon.
I like it. So, Bob Marley.
Oh man, that's my mentor.
Tell me about Bob Marley.
When you know Bob Marley, it was my mentor. I always listened to his music because he was very instrumental in how I write my songs.
Right.
And I had a pleasure of meeting all his players.
Right.
He played on one of my songs with Grenada called "I Love You."
Okay.
Well, he had already died. But the bass player,
yes,
Ashton Family Man Barrett,
yes,
me and my brother Chris went to Jamaica. We did 6 songs over there with Gregory Isaac Band, and we did 6 songs with the Wheelers.
Okay.
And the song came out and it did very well with Gregory Isaac called "I Love You" with the Wheelers back me. But Bob Marley was so much a good writer, and he knew what we were going through as a people, and that caught my eye, that caught my ears. It struck me as somebody that reminded me of Malcolm, because I love Malcolm so much. I used to wear him on my chest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then Marley came, and Marley was saying everything that Malcolm was saying, but in music.
Did you get to meet Marley?
Well, yes, with my brother Chris in Jamaica.
Right.
Not for long, but passing through, and shook hands, took pictures. You know what I mean? And
what was he like to be next to a man like that? I mean,
man, humble guy, very humble, very unique. Don't talk too much.
Really?
Yeah, but very conscious.
Okay.
And they have a saying that when your father is white and your mother is black, you're a reactionary or a revolutionary.
Yes.
He was a revolutionary because he wanted to see changes among our people, and that's why I started to write music pertaining to our people.
And when people say Bob Marley, I remember Sunday school, and I remember hearing how he died. I never had real truth as to how he died. I heard rumors about he didn't believe in certain medicines, and he had some sort of disease, and cancer. He didn't believe in this and that, and he should have gone to see the doctor. He didn't.
That's not true. Marley has melanoma,
Okay.
and melanoma is the cancer of the skin.
Right.
And it really affects a lot of white people, but black people do get it too, especially if they have a family who's Caucasian.
Right.
See? And it's a very fast-moving cancer. But melanoma is the melanite cell that deals with the color of the skin, the hair, and the eyes.
Right.
See? When it starts self-destructing because of lacking of vitamin C. That's the key. See? Vitamin C prevents the cell from destructing, and there's an amino acid called tyrosine that creates what we call tyrosinase that prevents the cells from self-destructing. So Marley was maybe lacking in those vitamins and minerals and also the amino acids. So he was more prone.
Right.
So he got injured in his toe, and they took the nail bed off.
Right.
And they wanted to take off his toe because they found he had cancer there.
Right.
He didn't want it because the Rastafarians don't believe in removing any part of the body.
Right.
Because of principles of the Bible.
Right.
And but the cancer was so fast moving. In a couple of years, he died. He went all the way to jail, so he went to doctors because he fell down in New York in Central Park.
Oh wow.
In Georgia, and that's he started to have. In fact, he went to the doctor. He had cancer in his lungs, and he still went touring, but he wasn't as energetic as before. And then when the cancer started with his brain, he went to Germany. There was a doctor in Germany who had a good success rate with melanoma. Still couldn't make it. Was too far gone. So we lost a great one. You know what I'm saying? And if a lot of old people will listen to people as Brother Farrakhan, who came here, Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, all these brothers, Patrice Lumumba, Kwame Nkrumah, Sekou Touré, they are the brothers we have to listen to and bring in our curriculum. Then we'll be a more stronger people, because we are the strongest race on the earth, but yes, we are the weakest. Africa is the most richest continent on the planet Earth, but yet it's the most underdeveloped. And that is what Marley was teaching us all the time. Africa unite.
Nowhere. No, no.
Deal with them. Hold on, sir. Let me deal with them now. Let me deal with them. Let me deal with them.
Nowhere. No, 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 nowhere, nowhere, nowhere. No, no, no. No prison. A prison life not easy, man. It's sleazy. Before you pull the trigger, think about your bomb bomb. Prison life not easy, man. It's sleazy. Before you pull your cutlass, think about your bomb bomb. Prison life not easy, man. It's sleazy. Before you chop your bread and think about your bomb bomb. Prison life not easy, man. It's sleazy. Before you beat your woman, think about your bomb bomb. Them a build them prison every day, like they just don't care. They have their own ill a reason. Youth man, you hear? Come for sell out them crap education for you and me. Guns and drugs is the only solution. They want we see, but prison life not easy. Youth man, it's easy. Before you pull the trigger, think about your bam bam. Prison life not easy. Youth man, it's easy. Before you pull your cutlass, think about your bam bam. Prison life not easy. Youth man, it's easy. Before you chop your bread and think about your bam bam. Prison life not easy. Youth man, it's easy. Before you beat your woman, think about your bam bam. No, 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 no. When you run with them falsehood gangsters, you make your mama cry. Malcolm Martin, Marcus Lumumba, tell me why they died. Could be murder, it could be manslaughter. Is a price we pay. When you read about Malcolm and Martin, listen what they say. Prison life not easy, youth man, it's easy. Before you pull the trigger, think about your bam bam. Prison life not easy, youth man, it's easy. Before you pull your cutlass, think about your bam bam. Prison life not easy, youth man, it's easy. Before you chop your bread, you think about your bam bam. Prison life not easy, youth man, it's easy. Before you beat your woman, think about your bam bam.
Cause prison life not easy. Hope it wouldn't be me, but never say never. So I pray to God to ease me. Guide our reaction in the face of confrontation. Keep us safe from the hands of legislation. Let it be empty down at the station and in the courtroom. Let the judge take a vacation. Cause ignorance will bring you straight back to stage one. In the jail a cold bar to prop your face on.
Prison life not easy, young man, it's easy. Before you pull the trigger, think about your bam bam.
I'm just working on another one. This will be released on the 4th of May. It's called Why Can't We Live It Up? Okay. Why you always keep on shooting up your brother? The enemy a prosper. I thought you did know. Did you know? In the ghetto, them keep we going under. While they reap we gold and silver. Up in Africa now, Lord. So why can't we live it up tonight? So why can't we live it up? And why can't we live it up and make it alright? Why can't we live it up tonight, black people? And why can't we live it up and make it alright? That's bad. And this I with him, African rhythm. And this I with him, Marcus rhythm. And this I with him, Marcus rhythm. Morris Bishop Baptism and Eskizim. And this I with him, Martin rhythm. And this I with him, Steve Biko rhythm. And this I with him, Lumumba rhythm. And this I with him, the Unity rhythm. So why can't we live it? So it's all about that.
So Patrick, you're talking about some of these great men, Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X. Honourable Minister Farrakhan. I think the problem with our people is we don't appreciate our own until they're dead.
Yeah. A prophet will never honor his own country.
And the other thing is that we're more happy to listen to what the media tell us is right.
Yeah.
But if we speak out and say something that is against what's being taught, against the propaganda, against the bad teaching, we're ignored, we're blocked, or our character is assassinated. He doesn't know what he's talking about, he's no expert, but yet not understanding that the same doctor, the same superstar, hasn't got your best interests at heart.
True.
Talk to me about this. And why are we as a people so quick to listen to rubbish?
Brainwash.
Well, it's totally you got
Brainwash. What do you mean? You know, I'll give you an example. Like, I'm in Grenada, right?
Yes.
And I get what we call character assassination every day from my own people. Either, don't go to him, he's no good, or he killed people already. Yeah, nothing yet, man. I'm still here because I love my people, so I'm still here. But it's something hard to deal with, or because we were taught the wrong principles. Number one, if you had someone else of a different persuasion doing what I'm doing here, then it will be long. I don't have to put up 3 and 4 certificates because the same doctor who has 5 or 6 of them on his wall, he don't fix nothing.
He just gives you the tablet that
he'll give drugs for the rest of your life.
And he gets profit for that science as well.
And he went to school and spent how much? $250 million. He's looking to make it back, to pay the bank back. So he can't get you well. It's not in his best interest to get you well. So you look at some of the TV stations, some of the news, and they put a drug in the market and they fight on the herb. That's what we call character assassination. So they wasn't trained to get you infirm well, or me, Patrick, does well. But when we come and say, you know what? God put plants on the earth, because in Genesis 1:20 he said, vegetation shall be for your food. And he gave us a program to follow to keep us well. And if you look at Ezekiel 47:12, the leaves are for healing. And you still go back into Revelation and see Revelation 22. They gotta pick the leaves to feel well. You know, drug they gotta pick up the tree. They gotta pick the leaves. So when you come and say to them, you know, this is scurvy. If you have scurvy, vitamin C cures it. Eat a lot of oranges, you get vitamin C from oranges. They said, no, that's not right. Maybe they said, no, vitamin C don't cure scurvy. So when you come and you have a cure that's natural, they said, no, because it's not scientific evidence.
There we go.
That's the problem. And when we said you went to school and had for 6 and 15 years, mean you want to know everything. Each one teach one. We learn every day, man. I learn from a 3-year-old every day. So I would say, well, you know, because I'm saying this is right, I learn from them, because you have to learn. So, not because they're big doctors and they're big scientists mean they know everything. They have the world all messed up now. These all the educated people, all the academics, so-called academics, they're the ones that have the world messed up today. They're the ones, man. Not me, just you and I. We trying to make it better. They messing it up. So that's the problem. So it's not about education, man. It's about common sense. To me, you know, it's about looking at your fellow man. You know, and trying to. It's not about greed. It's not about that. Because that's what it's all about in the world. Greed. What you could grab. Because in the medical system, I'll give you a good example. There's a plant called periwinkle plant. It's all over the world, all over in Grenada too. And they took out the chemical from the plant, the alkaloid, and they put it in a chemo drug called cisplatin. And what they did was they patented it now. So when they patent that particular drug, that particular pharmaceutical company will have the right So that's for 17 years. But you could take the plant and use it. See what I'm saying to you?
Yes.
It's just like aloes. You could take the same chemical from the aloe plant, but if you take it from the aloe plant, it's not patented. But when they take out a chemical and put it in their drug, they patent it. And then they tell you it costs how many, $17 or $15 million to make. So you can't go and buy it over the counter. See what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
So the same chemo they're taking from the plant and used to be more toxic. Why don't you just use the plant itself
To do the healing.
to do the healing? But you can't make money from the plant. They're going to use it. Every disease that we have starts in the digestive system. Even diseases of the brain. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
It might sound corny, but every disease that we get starts in our digestive system.
I agree with that.
Whatever we put in here. See, so you could get varicose veins, you could have diabetes, you could have hypertension, you could have multiple sclerosis, you could have lupus. They all start from a deficiency of something, either malnutrition or something. We all malnourished because we're not eating live foods. We're eating dead items.
So when you talk about dead foods, what do you mean by this?
The average Grenadian,
Yes.
they season up the chicken, season up the fish, cut the potato skin off, and all the vitamins and minerals are under the skin. They're going to use some carrots, they're going to scrape up the beta carotene, and then they're going to put it in the fire, in water, for 15 minutes. So when you eat that carrot after 15 minutes, it's very soft.
It's gone.
Beta carotene are gone, so that's dead. There's no atom there, because heat kills things. You see what I'm saying? So then the body and the cells, the organs, the glands, they need nourishment. The thyroid gland needs zinc and B6 and vitamin C. The eyes need lutein. So if you don't get these phytochemicals and these flavonoids from your foods, your eyes will suffer. You're going to get glaucoma, cataracts, sometime or the other, because you're being deficient. So diseases come from deficiency and malnutrition. So if you have something within the brain, it's because you're not feeding the brain. There's a part of the brain called the hippocampus that deals with cognition and memory. If you don't have enough magnesium there, you get Alzheimer's disease or Parkinson's disease. And if you have a lot of aluminum in the brain, which depletes these minerals. It's all stats, man.
Now, I was always told about the word disease. It's not disease, it's dis-ease.
Dis-ease.
Which basically is saying that your body should be at ease, but it's at dis-ease. Something's not right. Something's not right with the body. Something imbalanced.
Yeah.
When you break it down like that means people embrace disease. Yeah. People embrace.
I'm a follower of Dr. Sebi.
Dr. Sebi.
Yeah.
Who's Dr. Sebi? Tell me about
Dr. Sebi is from Honduras.
Honduras. Okay.
But he do believe in the African concept of living.
Okay. What's that?
So for instance, we have yam in Grenada, right?
Yes.
We know that yam causes prostate cancer.
Really?
It's not a black people food. It's from Peru. We know that they cross-fertilizing carrots and garlic. Don't make us well. So
why is it that it's in the Caribbean that yam and fish and dumpling, these things are just so...
Because that's what we were taught. Slavery. So I'm saying to them, well, who's the best scientist? The Most High. He's the best scientist. So he is who we have to believe. What he says in the scriptures. You follow what I'm saying? So if he says to me, when you have a boil, take some fig leaf with some saffron and cover the boil, and the boil disappears. They can't give you no drug for that.
Ghetto youth in the ghetto, why you fighting? Stop the fighting, it's time for united. Babylon is rioting, inciting. Gangsterism is the time them styling. Things are dead dread, dreader than dread. So much confusion, nowhere to rest my very head. Why, so we tired of the fussing and you keep preaching fair nonsense. Get all you a sell out for a 5 pence.
When did Patrick Dell have that moment and say, that's it, I've nailed it. I am good at what I do, and here's my, this is my moment.
I'm good at what I do. I ain't need it yet. Because when you're not from Jamaicans and the music is very difficult. Because Jamaicans, what they do, they keep their music among themselves. That's why Lucky Dube was so great. He could have put up a stadium in the UK, but couldn't do it in Jamaica. He was South Africa. That's one of the things we have our people. You know what I mean? We deal with tribalism. We have to get rid of that. And just have music of music. Not because it's reggae started in Jamaica means it's just Jamaican. Caribbean music.
We're black first and foremost.
Yeah. So what I'm doing is this year is going to be my year. Because more money is going to hit the market. And when they hit that money, you know who Patrick does is on the music.
So this is my 2013.
2013. Teach the world music and medicine. That's the key. Music and medicine. I want to flow the world with that. And after I finish in Grenada, I'll be going to Miami, Virginia, PA, Philadelphia, and New York to do some health seminars. And then I will promote health there. But at the same time, I'll be concentrating on getting people to know what all people know.
A name that's trying to flash through my mind, Professor Griff.
Professor Griff?
Yes.
Never heard of him.
Public Enemy.
Oh, my God. That's my man, man.
Yeah. Some sort of, I'm talking to you and talk about health and you're talking about music and I'm thinking, hey,
everybody.
Yeah, I could see.
Like KRS-One.
Yes, I could see the correlation there.
Yeah.
And why do you guys been sort of kind of unified?
Well, Sydney from Steel Foot, Sydney Mills, works with both of these guys.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that when I get a bit of link together. But you know what? Music is my life.
Yes.
And teaching is music.
Yes.
So if you can't teach, you're not a preacher. Preach yourself.
Yes.
And people don't learn nothing. But when you teach a person, it's like reading the Bible or the Quran.
Yes.
Or studying the Quran or the Bible.
Yes.
If you should read it, you don't comprehend a lot of stuff. But when you study it, it's different. That's the key, to study. So once you study and you embrace what you studied and what you accepted, then you can always tell other people. You know, that's what it's all about.
In closing, how do you want to be remembered in Grenada or worldwide?
As a great herbalist came to help people to get better, to teach people how to stay well, how to eat the foods, to teach people to eat the foods, the God-given foods that He gave us on the planet Earth, not the man-made foods, not the processed ones, not the one that man put in the can, the live food that God gave us to eat. That is my purpose, to teach people. That's a gift that I got from the Most High. And then I could teach them here, going to Africa, and going to North America, going to the UK, and still teach. My time is right here. Music, the same thing. Teach people to utilize them in music. Because once you get utilized in music, it don't hurt. See what I'm saying to you? Mm-hmm. And it captivates your mind. Once you could captivate your mind to learn consciousness and to preach the Most High, that's my key. Because when Christ came, he didn't talk about religion, you know. He talked about the kingdom of God coming on the earth. That was the purpose. So I want to keep that purpose. Yeah, but in the and when I see we are in a state that we in today, and I'm saying, why did Malcolm come? Why did Farrakhan teach? Why did Elijah Muhammad teach? Huh? Why did Steve Biko went to jail? Why did they kill Patrice Lumumba? And we sit in learning. I mean, something is wrong. I mean, we ain't grasping nothing. I want to change that. Tell me when I'm good, when I'm alive. Don't wait till I die to tell you. The Catholic says, this man loved people. And he came to teach the kingdom of the Most High. That's how I want to be remembered. That's from the heart.
Because my love for black people will never die. I will always fight for us to be emancipated, free from the mental slavery. The big tales of mine.
Patrick Dell, thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Love to meet you so much.
Nice meeting you, man.
Yeah, man. Patrick Dell featuring Diamond. Green School, right? And this one called the money. You see me? I said the money. Nothing funny. You see me? Patrick Dell featuring
No money, no money.
Yeah.